listen-only mode.
Good morning, everyone. This is Ryan Hayes with Engage121 for this week's product update webinar. This week I am flying solo, so if you do have any questions, I will try and get to them throughout the course of the webinar, but I'll definitely get to them at the end of the webinar. So if you do submit any questions, go ahead and use that questions functionality in the GoToWebinar software, and I will respond to those at the end of the call if I'm not able to get to them during the call. During today's webinar, we've got some very cool things to talk about, starting with a new Twitter demographics report. You've seen some of it, previews of that sort of thing in OA3, which we looked at a couple weeks ago. And that's the first thing to make its way from OA3 into CA. So we'll take a look at that. Then I want to talk about a new feature that Facebook launched this week on replying to comments directly, and talk about what that means for Engage121 users and page owners and so on. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about Facebook contests and some of the rules and guidelines around that, just because I've been seeing a lot of businesses that have been doing it wrong lately. So I want to make sure that all of our clients know what they can and can't do, and how to make the best use of the exciting new frontier of social media and Facebook in terms of what you can do for contests and so on. But to start, we're going to go ahead and go into the application and talk about the new Twitter demographics report. So we've got a new report now under Engage121 Analytics. The first time you log in, you're probably going to see this grayed out. You won't be able to actually select it. And there's a reason for that. It actually has to be turned on by someone who's an admin on the account. So we'll go through that process. And there's a hover message that will appear saying that it hasn't been turned on, and that the admin on the account has to do so in order for it to be enabled. But that is because we want the admin to be the person to select whether which Twitter handle they want to use, which Twitter they want to enable that report for. So under Account and in Library, we have a special library that's called Account Apps. And you may be familiar with this in terms of managing social flow and tracker and Facebook ads and Bitly, and whether those things are turned on for your account. They're account-wide settings, whether you want to enable them or not. Once the apps are enabled, then depending upon the app, there may be things that the individual users can enable or disable or manage, but it's something that has to be controlled by the admin, because either there's an associated cost with it, or it's something that affects the entire account, your entire Engage121 account, all users. So we've added a new one here, which is Twitter Demo. And the Twitter demographics is it's a premium feature, but we're making one account available to all Engage121 accounts for free. So one Twitter handle per account. This is not per user, it's per account. So you need to make sure that you understand that you as an admin are enabling one handle to be accessible for the rest of your account in terms of that Twitter demographics report. So you want to be picking the primary handle for your account, the primary Twitter handle before, so that that's the one that's available for everyone. You don't want to pick someone's personal handle or let them pick their personal handle. So there's a terms here, as well as what about the costs and that sort of thing. Again, you're able to select the first one for free. If you want to add additional handles, you can do that. There's a drop down here where you can pick the handle that you'd like to add, and if you go to click Submit, you're going to get a notice about the fee. So you have to confirm, again, that you're going to be charged $50 a month per handle, per additional handle, in order to enable that. So It's something to keep in mind when you're deciding, but this is not just the handles that are connected to your admin login, but every handle that is connected to all of the different logins on your account. So something that I want to make sure everyone understands is there and the impact of that. But once it's enabled, then when we go back into evaluate, and then we look at the Twitter demographics report, you're going to see all of this information available here. So there's a lot of very cool stuff here that you're not going to find elsewhere. It's not standard Twitter information. There's demographics that go well beyond what you get even with something like Facebook Insights. So in addition to seeing a breakdown, geographic and gender breakdown, we've also got things like marital status and languages spoken and religions and where they shop and top interests, number of tweets by your community per day, the average age groups, and favorite restaurants and so on, and other accounts that they follow. So there's a lot of really great information here, things that you're not going to find elsewhere. And we think it's very valuable information, but there are hard costs that go along with it. So we're giving each account one Twitter account for free. If you want to add more, you can upgrade and make those additions. It is going to be an account-wide setting, so you'll have that enabled for every different user on your account. And then we'll go ahead, and the next thing that I want to take a look at is the Facebook comment replies. So this was a feature that was rolled out by Facebook this week. It's a little, it's not quite finished yet, but it's something that they've made available. So for example, you may have seen, if you log into Facebook and pull up one of your pages, you may have seen a message like this at the top of your admin panel where it tells you about replies and prompts you to enable those replies. So this is something that's now available for all pages and is also available as an option for any personal profiles that have over 10,000 followers or subscribers, depending upon how you want to look at it. So it's not for all personal profiles, but for all pages it is now an option. It's something that you do have to turn on. You have to opt into it for the time being. They do intend to roll this out June 10th, I believe, is the date. They intend to roll this out for all pages across the board. It will just be turned on. So it's something that they're giving you an opportunity to play with it a little bit, to get used to it before they turn it on for everyone. And I think part of that is because they haven't quite finished the feature completely. They've been testing it since late last year, but they have not. They're launching it at this point without having a solution built into the API or into the mobile applications yet. So the replies, you cannot reply to a comment through a third-party application like Engage121 or through any of the native Facebook mobile apps. They just have not built that side of the functionality yet. But when they do, and they are obviously going to be doing that, when they do, that will be enabled in Engage as well. For the time being, you're still able to see those. You don't miss out. You're just not able to reply specifically. So I'm pulling up our fictitious coffee company here, Java121, and I've got a post from Tuesday, and I've got comments on that post, and then I've got replies made by Java121. So someone commented on it, I can click reply, I can reply to it. Now, the way that all of this appears either on a mobile application or on in Engage121 is they show up just as normal comments. So really, as far as the databases are concerned, a reply is just a comment that's been linked to another comment. So they're still going to appear as comments. So here's that post. Viewing it in Engage121, I've got the original post by Job121, and if I click on comments, it's going to load up the comments that have been made to that post, starting with my comment, and then the responses, the replies from the page, all that sort of thing. So it doesn't. You're not going to miss anything by using Engage121 to manage them. But until they release that functionality of being able to reply to the API and to their mobile devices, that's something that they're just going to appear as comments. So anyone who's viewing your posts on their mobile device won't see that reply option. So it's something that you may not want to enable for your page just yet, because it is kind of a little premature, but it's something that's a very great feature. I know that we've had clients that have asked about it. It's something that has been available in their comments plugin that you may have seen on web pages, but it's not it's not something that's turned on for everyone. Let's see here. And if you do want to manage that, if you want to make changes, we go to Edit Page, Manage Permissions, and that's where you'll find the ability to turn on or off replies for your page. So you can manage it there. If you want to play around with it, by all means you can. But until they release that functionality of the API, they're just going to be treated as regular comments. Once it has been released to the API, I'm sure we'll be seeing changes in terms of how we manage cases in Engage121, so that you can create a case around an individual comment and then reply through that case, so that you can track all those things just as if they were wall posts or managing replies and comments from your Twitter feed. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about a little bit was Facebook contests. And the reason I bring it up is it's something that I've seen happen a lot lately in terms of just watching what's coming in on my friends' news feeds. And there's a lot of limitations in terms of what you can and can't do with a Facebook page. And what I've seen a lot of companies do, and I apologize, I had an example up here. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I've got an example we can look at of something that's not being that's against the terms. So if we look actually at Facebook's promotion guidelines here, you're going to see things that you cannot condition entry on taking any action with Facebook aside from liking your page or checking into a place or enabling your app. So you can't say that they have to like your wall post, or they have to comment, or they have to upload a photo or something like that into Facebook's functionality. And you cannot use a Facebook function as a entry mechanism. So you can't say that just liking or commenting is an automatic entry into the contest. You can use that liking of a page as what we call fan gating before they're able to access the contest registration form. But you cannot condition entry on just liking something. So this is an example of one that I saw recently. It's over now. They've completed it, but their conditioning of it is you have to like it, and then you have to like the post, and then you have to share the post in order to enter. And that's not. I mean, that's exactly against Facebook's guidelines for what you can and can't do. So something to keep in mind is, just because Facebook is new and exciting, and there's a lot of great things you can do in terms of promotions, you can't just post something and say like it and you're entered in my contest. because that's against their terms. Facebook obviously doesn't want to be on the hook or expose themselves to someone saying, well, Facebook didn't register my like correctly and I didn't win because of that, or anything along those lines. Just because it's social media doesn't mean that the same sort of contest guidelines that you would do running a sweepstakes traditionally don't apply. You still have to follow all those sorts of rules in terms of how you administer your contest. And you're going to want to have terms and conditions. You need to have your legal counsel review your terms and conditions. But what we do with Engage121 is we do have a number of different fanlet templates and number of fanlets in our catalog for, you've seen a bunch of photo contests with us. We also have a number of just sweepstakes where in this case, so this is just an example of one where it's got a fan gate image that prompts you to like the page. This is all within the rules. So we like the page. And then once you like the page, then you're able to access the entry form. So now we've got the details about the contest, what I can win, when it's running, and I can put in my information. And just as if you had a contest running on your website or something like that, this is all going to work exactly the same way. We're going to qualify those entries. They have to put in an email address. They have to put in their name, that sort of thing, whatever is a required field. And then we've got terms and conditions and everything that go along with it. So there's a lot that's here that's already built to accommodate all that. And this is really just our standard email collector with kind of a prettied up interface, a custom image, custom text, and that sort of thing. So there's not a whole lot that's involved in setting one of these up. And then another example of that is one that's running on Smoky Bones' page right now. Another client of ours, they're doing the Champion of Cheesy, and they're doing essentially a bracket. So again, they've got this fan gated, so we like the page. We're able to see the sweepstakes, and they're doing a bracket, a March Madness style bracket here, where you're voting on what's the most cheesy thing, whether it's in this case boy bands or sweatsuits, or any of any number of other cheesy items that they've pit against each other in their Champion of Cheesy contest. But it's really, again, it's just an email collector with a vote option stuck into it. So you have to put in your first name, you put in your last name, put in your email address. You can enter once per cycle, once per bracket cycle, and submit your vote and be entered into the contest. So there are a lot of great ways that you can use social media, and Facebook in particular, to run successful campaigns and promotions and sweepstakes. But it's important to keep in mind that just because it may be a new media or something along those lines does not mean that you don't have to abide by the standard sort of rules and local laws and whatnot that you would have to running a sweepstakes regularly. So something to keep in mind. And you can certainly get your page shut down if you don't follow those Facebook guidelines and you do run a contest by, like and share this post in order to enter to win. We've seen it happen. I've certainly seen it happen with new clients coming in who are a little less than familiar with what's available and how to use it. So it's just something I wanted to bring up and make sure everyone was aware of what you can and can't do. There is that guideline section for pages, so I definitely recommend that you go and take a look at that if you are thinking about running a contest. And by all means, you can talk with our team here, reach out to our support team, and talk to them about what what you want to do. And while we can't provide legal counsel, we can give you some guidance on what you can and can't do, and what other clients have done. So at any rate, I thank you all for joining us. We did have some questions about access to the Twitter demographics report. That will be turned on for admins to enable today. I will go make sure that that is enabled for all of you now. But again, it's only going to be something that an admin can set up. So you guys do have to make sure, if you are not an admin on your account, or you have a separate login to log in as the admin, you can do that. You'll need to use that admin login to enable it, and make sure that you are picking the right Twitter handle. You can remove it if you mess up and you pick the wrong one. You can remove it and reset it. It's not that big a deal, but you do want to make sure that you're selecting the right one moving forward. But at any rate, we're really excited about that. We think it's a very powerful tool to get insight into your followers on Twitter, what your community is interested in. So we're happy to bring it to everyone. At any rate, everyone, if it's a holiday weekend for you, have a great holiday weekend. If not, have a great weekend anyway. And thank you all for joining us. And if you have things that you'd like to see us talk about in future webinars, please do let us know. Again, as always, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel to find the recorded webinars, as well as following us on Twitter's, fanning our page, liking our page on Facebook, where you'll find out more about all of these things. Have a great weekend, everyone, and we will see you back here next Friday.